you.
It's okay. I was just walking by. I think your dog's in a little trouble here.
What's wrong?
You might want to spray this whole porch down with Pam.
Good afternoon, everybody. Speedboat Maniac 410, always coming at you guys. It's been a couple days since I uploaded a video. We're waiting for the pipe to get welded, as you guys already know from the previous video, and waiting for my buddy Big Jeff to get it back to us. It probably would be the middle of this week or so that he gets it back to us. I figured today what we would do, a couple little things. I want to check the drive oil. I checked the drive oil levels of the drive oil, you know, a few days ago, and then of course a week ago before I took the boat out. But as you guys know, and again, anybody who has a power boat or a high performance power boat, and a power boat in general, you know that it's important to check your fluids for obviously good operation and making sure things aren't running low so you aren't burning up bearings or burning up gears.
Are you okay, boy? Oh no, your nuts frozen to the porch? Oh, that sucks. Shh, don't pull up.
But today we're talking about specifically drive oil and the oil or gear oil that's in your outdrive. So look, if y'all are high performance guys and you know all about this stuff, this is the part where you click off the video and go out of here. If you're not and you'd like a little bit of information, I'm going to explain what we do on these outdrives, which are older outdrives from like 20, 25 years ago, the technology. It's called a Speedmaster 5. It's not a 6, which is the newer model, and it's certainly not a number 8, which is even the newer model. It's only a couple of years older. This technology is a good, like I say, 15, 20, 25 years ago. And this is what they were using back in the mid-90s and early 2000s before the number 6 came into vogue. So we're going to pop the cork on the bottom of these just a little bit to check the color and see if there's any water in the actual gear oil. Look, last year, you guys know, in the summertime, the one drive had bad seals in it, okay? So it was the starboard drive right here, okay? And apparently there's two seals. There's one here in the back, and obviously there's one here in the front, and there's a nose cone, right, that bolts on. And I don't know if there's one in here or not. I'm not an expert on where the seals are. But long story short, this drive, this starboard drive, got the seals changed, and it got looked at by T&T. In other words, they just took a good look at the drive. It looked okay, and they didn't have to make any repairs on it because it wasn't damaged. Thank goodness it wasn't damaged. Haven't had any problems with it. Now, this outdrive here, we noticed that it was leaking just a little bit. Now, it's not this week. It's been a week since I took the boat out. And it was just, I mean, like a half a drip every week or two. It would, you know, be coming out. So obviously if it's leaking, right, then there's a possibility that when you're in the water and running, that it would take water on. So at the time, because I'm on a shoestring budget, I'm going to change the name of the channel to Shoestring Budget 410. I didn't have the port side drive done at the same time. That was like $1,100 before it actually got removed and installed, even though I removed the drive, packed it up, sent it down to Miami to T&T, had it come back, and I had LSB put it back on and assemble all the gimbal and the plug-in and all that stuff and put it all back together for me, and all the tie rods. So by the time you take a drive off, mail it to whoever can be qualified enough to work on a number 5, because apparently parts are limited for a number 5, and there's only a handful, if not 2 or 3 people or companies in the whole country that work on number 5 outdrives and have parts for them. So what I'm getting at is I didn't have the extra money to send the port motor down. I just sent the starboard one down. So we're going to check the drive oil specifically in this port one and compare it to the starboard one to see what we got.
What's wrong?
I think his, well, you know how when you get your tongue frozen in the freezer because it's all wet? I think he got...
Nuts frozen at the porch?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, baby. Well, what do we do?
We gotta do something. So, do you have some inside?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we'll come on into the old trusty Sanford and Son establishment that I got here.
Look at you, big dummy.
We're only going to need a couple little tools. And we're going to need the trusty knee pad, because you always know you need a knee pad. We'll get a little Folgers coffee can, Colombian. I love Colombian coffee. They grow it right next to the high test on the same mountain. You know what I'm saying? A straight screwdriver, good old Milwaukee, old funky rag. And that should be enough to get us in trouble just to check these fluids. Now, we're not going to take a lot of fluid out of them. We're just going to check and pull the plug. So, you know, I think it's important to show you there's a screw here at the top that you can fill it from here up. But they say you're supposed to fill these from the bottom up because of the air gap. So here's the screw on the other one. But what we're going to do, because, look, water is heavier than oil. The oil's more buoyant. So when you pull the bottom plug out, if there's any water, like solid water, it's going to come out first. And that drive over there was doing it last year before I sent it away. It would pour out a good half a pint of water before the oil would come out. Even though the oil was a good color-ish and a very, protective oil, you could always see the water would come out first. Now, that would be like 2 or 3 days after it sat, so it would separate and the water would go to the bottom. So, and that's what's amazing about that. I'm not making excuses or anything, but that's what's amazing and how strong these drives are and how much abuse they'll take. That starboard out drive hasn't had any repairs to it and doesn't have any metal shavings or anything on the actual plug that you pull out because it's a magnetic plug. And it has survived having a little bit of water run through it before the seals got changed. So I'm not saying it don't have damage in it, but I doubt it.
Shh, don't pull on. It's okay, don't move. It's gonna stretch you more, that's bad. No, ow, that's wrong. No, it's way off. You got like warm water and...
A fork!
Yeah, no, ow, what? No.
Just being optimistic also, but it doesn't, And again, these are heavy-duty drives, even though it's older technology, but they run good. Let's take a look. I'm going to pull the plug on this port side drive and see what we got. Let me set you guys up, see if we can get a little bit. Okay, so again, here's the drain plug for the bottom. All right. It's just a straight screwdriver. Use a big sharp one that's got a good face on it. Obviously, get your rag. And there's a little neoprene washer. It's like sometimes it's either black or yellow Teflon washer. And look at that. It's a good gold color. Doesn't have too much separation in it. We're not going to drain it. We're just doing an inspection on it. Right?
Spatula thing, the flat one. I'm sorry, buddy. Just give her a second. Thanks.
I got it. Now what?
Here's what we do. I just pour a little water on here. Now you hold them.
Easy?
Now this ain't no flapjack. Gotta go real easy. Should loosen it up a little bit. I'm gonna go. I don't want to look. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, go. Good. There. Hey, buddy, you're free.
Looks good. Now I had pulled this plug, like I said, a couple weeks ago, or a week ago before I took the boat out, and it looked fine. So it's been sitting for another week. And again, let's make this clear. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is very gold and in excellent shape. Now listen, I had this drive oil changed back in November and December when we laid the boat up for the wintertime. Okay? Now they use Mercury 90 weight racing oil, the recommended gear oil for this, and they also put in an additive. This is not a product promotional video or anything, but as you guys know, Lily Sport Boats LSB is sponsored by the winning team and world record championship holding Lily Sport Boats. They run a drive oil additive and also engine oil additive called RevX. And I don't know what the actual, I think it's like 2 ounces, and they add it to this. And it really, I mean, the viscosity of this oil is, in fact, amazing and super thick. And it's not just because of the oil itself, it is because of the additive that goes along with it. And there's no metal shavings, okay? And there's no metal shavings on this one. So, same thing. Let's go over and check this one out over here. The starboard motors drive, and take a look at its oil. Okay guys, I got you in a good position, and I got to watch out around these propellers because you know they are super sharp. They're like meat cleavers at the deli section at the food line. All right, so let's take a look and see this old guy, if I can get it cracked loose. Had it cracked loose not too long ago. Let's do it again. There we go. All right, and again, you don't want to lose the washer that's in there, the little neoprene or Teflon. They happen to be yellow. Okay, look at that. Same thing. And look, no metal on the actual plug. That's a good thing. Okay, so we're just checking for color and water and milk.
1, 2, 3, go. Good. There. Hey, buddy, you're brave. Oh,
Good boy.
good job.
And so far, I got a score out of 9 out of 10 on this port motor, the one we just checked. And I would say we have a 10 out of 10 on this guy over here. Look at how gold and pretty in the sunlight that oil is. And again, this oil is, it only has maybe 2.5 hours on it, but it was changed back in December. So it's almost 8 months old, but I don't have any hours on it. But the oil is in great, great shape, it looks to me. So that's pretty much, you know, giving you guys a quick little rundown on drive oil, checking the color, if there's any metal on your plug. Now we'll go in and we'll check the levels. The levels are actually inside, but we're not going to do that today. You can also check the levels on this screw, like I said. Pull the screw out. This is the same height level as it is inside the boat where the glass, sight glass is. It shows the level of it. So that's pretty much it. That's Drive Oil 101 for specifically a number 5 out drive, which is the same as a 4, a 3A, and a 3. They're basically all the same gear cases, but upgraded over that 5 or 7 year period back in the 90s. We're running these out drives because they're less expensive than a number 6, and they're more affordable, even though parts are somewhat hard to find. You can send them to Miami to TNT to have them replaced or repaired, so it's good to know. So that pretty much wraps up Drive Oil 101. You want to make sure the oil's gold, it's got good viscosity, your additive is holding on pretty good, and you have no fuzz or metal shavings on the bottom of your magnet that comes out.
You might want to spray this whole porch down with Pam.
So if you like this video, guys, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and click on your notification bell for any new videos coming your way. Don't forget to share it with a friend, comment down below, or ask any questions. And as always, we appreciate you coming along, and God bless.